We are a digital marketing agency. We're based over in Worthing, so I like to feel like that makes us a little bit diverse and stuff, but we're slightly out of line. And as a business, our focus is on what we do and what we do well, rather than trying to fulfil a customer's every need, trying to reinvent the wheel every time someone comes to us. 58 staff members, most of who are based in Worthing, and a few who work remotely as well, so some are also in London as well. And then, so I don't want to talk about the benefits of diversity and inclusion. I'm guessing that's going on here because you already know that and talk a little bit more about it. So I thought more about how we encourage it through our day-to-day operations and what actually happens on a day-to-day that helps that. It's worth me mentioning in terms of the business that organically we're quite fortunate in being a little bit more diverse. So our board are 50-50, so having that kind of, in terms of gender split, so having that kind of at the top of the business helps us. Going back to what Claire's saying, the way that we're showcasing ourselves, we don't actually, our male board members are probably more prominent than our female board members just in terms of personality. But as a board, we have got that. Again, people looking at the business and thinking that they want to work there would feel more encouraged by that, perhaps. And working closely with the board, we've gone through an awful lot of things over the years. So whether that's neurodivergent conditions, gender reassignment, overseas workers, we've had lots of different things that we've managed over time. Then, in terms of me and how I actually benefit from the business as a inclusive workplace. So as mentioned, I'm a parent, I'm a working parent. I started to change my hours when I first went back to work, and they compressed my week into 4 long days. So whilst, as I'm sure any of you who are parents, I'm not saying that I don't doubt what I'm doing most of the time, that extra day really allows me to feel like I'm giving my everything to that as well as working. The key thing about that is not that they do it, but that they never make me feel any less a part of the business because of it. So I never feel like my ability to do my job well. If anything, I feel like I see that as an asset for me. And then before I carry on, I mentioned that one of our founders utilises a wheelchair, and he told me a story which really resonated with me in that one size doesn't fit all. So after he had his accident, there's a lot of rehabilitation and aftercare that he had to go through as part of that. And he was encouraged to play table tennis. So he used to quite outspoken, maybe quite stubborn, and that did not want him at all. He wasn't having any of this everyone plays table tennis type setup. So it wasn't something that was encouraging him, it was encouraging something in everyone within the rehabilitation programme. It didn't take into account that he loved football, his passion wasn't into table tennis. And so him as an individual, he's gone out and found other ways to channel that. So he's been chairman of a local football team, and he just built websites for them, and he watches his children play pretty much every week. And I get the NHS doesn't have the funding and the time to be able to investigate, but it just struck me that if someone had spent 5 minutes talking to him, they'd understood that actually we'll get much more of that out of that person if I can channel that passion that he already has like this, rather than just trying to shoehorn him into something. So as I say, I looked at what we do on the day-to-day basis rather than top-line stuff. There are a lot of different things, but these are just some examples and hopefully will get you thinking down a path. You see, you will be degree educated in job adverts out in the marketplace. Yeah, so it's quite common. It's not something that we ask for. Obviously, I appreciate if you're a doctor, yes, you need a certain qualification. I think it's actually being operated on by someone who doesn't. But at the shed, that's not something that we need. We can. I read a quote that said, I was looking into it, I'm thinking, okay, have I completely missed the point? Why are people asking for this? And it simply said because it shows that someone's committed. And I feel like you can understand that in so many other ways, and that by asking for that one skill set, you're then cutting out so much more. And you're missing out on a whole wealth of candidates by saying you don't want that with a particular type of background. And should we not instead be embracing diversity further by saying, okay, actually this person's realised that university path isn't for them, and they've climbed in a different way, they understand themselves better, they're more resilient, there's a whole different set of skills that you can look at in a different way. And can anyone guess whether or not I've got a degree? Done vocational, more relevant courses, but that helped me within my role, but I don't think that this would make any difference. And then it's just thinking, how many areas do we do something like that? So one line within a job advert, how many different areas do we do something like that that then cuts our diversity by just excluding a whole group of people? Then in terms of recruitment overall and the recruitment process, we educate our interviewers to try and reduce any either conscious or subconscious biases. So before part one of our recruitment stage, we look at the team, we look at what we're missing in terms of behaviours and in terms of technical skills, and then we look at how are we going to utilise that information to round out the team. So what we're doing there is the converse to looking for that similar to me type person, but then actually is that complementary skill, that extra element to bring the team and make it does is then makes us look for that diversity, look for people that are different, that are bringing something extra to the party. We've actually recently done an emotional intelligence training across the business, and that what that helps, amongst other things, but is utilising any of the diversity that we've worked hard to try and achieve. Really important with that is that we action it. So our staff survey last year, for example, we've taken every suggestion and fed back on either what we've done or why we have been unable to for one reason or another. So everyone's opinion is counted, everyone's opinion is valued, and they know why it has or hasn't happened. And then this year we've tried to take it a step further by inviting absolutely everyone to participate in the creation of our company goals for the next year. Everyone else, the more support you gather. So yeah, it is dependent on the individual and how much they might want to share, but the more we can do that, you drum up support and bring everyone together as a unit, which helps. And then I've just put in the obvious point about adjusting, so it goes back to that one size not fitting all. There is a fine balance, and I'm not going to pretend that you can do absolutely everything to support everyone to completely encompass that workforce, but considering what we can do and considering the long-term investment of that. So like I said, for me and the commitment, if anything, I will work twice as hard to make sure that that works. They don't lose out on anything and actually they're rewarded. So it's considering those long-term benefits and not just the short-term rather than you might get for lack of doing something as well. And then I thought about simplicity, and it actually links into one of your points again there, which is sometimes it's just the simple things that you change which make a difference. We have a social committee. One of the guys came to me the other day and said he was really proud of us that we managed to change all of the activities so that he felt it was much more inclusive than it had been even a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. We do educational choices, active choices, family-friendly choices to try and embrace that group so everyone feels like they belong and it embraces that inclusive environment rather than, say, Friday night boozing is lovely, but it's not something anyone is even able to participate in, regardless of whether they want to or not. So it was really nice as well that it was one of the members of that committee who sort of said yes.
Do you think that a move away from more traditional HR methods to digital platforms can help increase diversity?
In what ways?
So in like recruitment or kind of like personal development plans within an organisation, do you think it eliminates a potential for bias and is more inclusive, or in the recruitment process?
I mean, personally, I'm less into the processes and the ticking boxes side of things. I'm more about the intention. So I'd rather know that somebody's having a development conversation with somebody, and I'd be less bothered about them having ticked a box on a platform to show that they've done it. So for me, it's about intention and doing the same for everybody. So I get the concept of where you're coming from, with direct people utilising that. So I don't know if I've necessarily answered that question, but I wouldn't necessarily think that utilising a platform would help me. But in terms of consistency, then yes.